Decoded.
Welcome to Book Decoded.
Great to be here.
Today, we're diving into something that trips us all up. Not, big external problems, but the routine mental mistakes we make every single day.
Exactly. We're looking at Rolf Dobelli's The Art of Thinking Clearly. And what I find really powerful is his idea of negative knowledge.
Negative knowledge. Tell me more.
Well, think of Michelangelo, right? He said he revealed the statue by chipping away everything that wasn't David. Dobelli applies that to thinking. Success often comes not just from learning what to do, but from figuring out what not to do, chipping away the errors.
Okay, I like that. So our goal today is to give you, our listeners, maybe 3 solid ways to think a bit more clearly, to be less irrational this week, spotting these deviations from, let's say, logical thought.
Sounds good. And the first one is a big one. It's a visual trap, really. Dobelli calls it the swimmer's body illusion.
Swimmer's body illusion.
Yeah, you see a professional swimmer, amazing physique, right? And you think, wow, all that swimming must give you a body like that.
Sure, seems logical.
But Dobelli points out it's often the other way around. That body type, maybe the genetics, the build, that's a selection factor. They were likely good at swimming because they had that kind of body to begin with.
Ah, okay. So the body selects the sport, not the sport creating the body.
Precisely. You're confusing the selection criteria with the result.
I could see how that applies elsewhere, like prestigious universities. Harvard, for example. Does it provide a vastly superior education, or does it just excel at picking the absolute brightest students who are probably going to succeed anyway?
That's a perfect example. It really makes you question cause and effect. Think about MBA programs, too. They love to advertise the high salaries graduates earn.
Right. The stats are always impressive.
But are those high salaries because of the MBA? Or is it because the type of person who pursues an MBA, maybe they're already more ambitious, more driven, was likely to earn more regardless? The degree might just be correlated, not the root cause.
That's a tricky one to untangle. So we need to be careful not to mistake good fortune or just being selected for actual skill. Okay, what's next? Let's talk about sticking with things too long. Why is it so hard to just walk away when something clearly isn't working?
Ah, the classic sunk cost fallacy. This is when you keep going with something, a bad investment, a failing project, even sitting through a terrible movie just because you've already put in time or money or effort.
We've all been there, sitting in the cinema thinking, well, I paid for the ticket.
Exactly. But the ticket money is gone. It's sunk. Staying doesn't get it back. You're letting a past unrecoverable cost dictate a future decision.
Which is totally irrational, right? Only the future prospect should matter.
Absolutely. Should I stay for this awful film? The only rational question is, will the next hour of watching this be worth my time? The money's already spent. Staying just means you lose the money and the time.
And this plays out in business constantly. You hear about ad campaigns that aren't working, but the manager says,
but we've invested so much already.
Yeah, it's a trap. The more you've invested, the harder it is to pull the plug, even when you know you should.
It's a powerful psychological pull. You have to mentally write off those past investments. Focus only on the future potential.
Okay, so we've got confusing selection with results and getting trapped by past investments. What about getting advice? When we realize we might be falling for these traps, we often seek experts. But how do we know who really knows their stuff?
Right. This brings us to what Dobelli, borrowing from Charlie Munger, calls chauffeur knowledge.
Chauffeur knowledge.
Yeah, there are 2 types. There's real knowledge earned through, deep work, effort, trial and error. And then there's chauffeur knowledge, basically just sounding good, maybe repeating what they've heard or read, performing knowledge, not possessing it.
Like a chauffeur repeating the wise words of the passenger in the back seat.
Exactly. Think of maybe a news anchor reading eloquently about a complex topic they don't truly understand deeply. They have the script, the showmanship.
It feels harder than ever to tell the difference today. Everyone sounds like an expert online. So is there a tell? A way to spot the difference?
Munger had a great test. True experts know the boundaries of their knowledge. They understand their circle of competence.
Okay.
And crucially, they aren't afraid to say, I don't know, when asked something outside that circle. They just admit it.
Where's the chauffeur?
The chauffeur rarely says, I don't know. They'll try to talk their way through it, bluff, give you an answer, even if it's not grounded in real understanding. They have an answer for everything.
That's a really useful distinction.
Yeah.
Look for the willingness to admit ignorance. Okay, so wrapping this up,
Uh,
what's the big takeaway for you, the listener?
Well, the goal isn't perfection. You're not going to suddenly become immune to all cognitive biases. It's about being less irrational, systematically.
Just chipping away at the errors, like Michelangelo.
Exactly. Start small. Recognize that even very smart, very successful people fall for these traps all the time.
So here's a final thought. Where in your own life this week might you be falling for one of these? Are you mistaking a swimmer's body, some selection advantage for earned skill? Or are you sticking with something just because of sunk costs?
Yeah, just try to identify one instance. Focus on eliminating just one of these errors. That awareness alone is a huge step towards clearer thinking.